Today, I'd like to share some of my thoughts on generative AI, both the parts that inspire me and the parts that worry me. To give you some context, I'm a visual designer, lecturer, and researcher. I've been a designer long before AI came around, and I see many benefits in using these tools. For commercial work, video, audio, photography, generative AI speeds things up, makes production cheaper, and opens up new creative possibilities. Of course, it doesn't always replace what a professional team can do, but for many projects, it's good enough. That makes me happy. On the bright side, generative AI is for everyone, from professional designers to everyday users. Make impressive things. Birthday cards, memes, visuals, marketing content. It opens up creativity for a wide audience. Around that core of playful use, there's a second layer, people automating tasks with AI, like turning incoming emails into structured answers using databases. And then there's a third, outer layer, companies using AI for industrial or very specific tasks, often with smaller specialized models. So I see generative AI as three rings. At the core, fun and creativity. Around that, automation. And in the outer ring, industrial applications. That's the bright side of the moon. But then there's the dark side, the part we don't always see, even though it makes all of this possible. Generative AI doesn't run on magic. It runs on massive AI data centers. And here's where I start to worry. A recent documentary, Inside the Secretive World of America's AI Data Centers, shed some light on what's happening. In the United States, more than 2 new AI data centers are opening every week. Each one can consume as much power and water as an entire city. By the end of 2024, there were 1,240 large-scale AI data centers, nearly 4 times more than in 2010. Most of us never notice them. They're often built in clusters, in places where land and electricity are affordable, or where local governments give big tax breaks. One striking example is in Virginia, the so-called AI Data Center Alley. From above, the landscape is covered with giant server farms. As much as a third of the world's internet traffic flows through that one region, and in 2023, those AI data centers consumed a quarter of Virginia's electricity. And it's not just electricity. Cooling is a huge issue. Some Microsoft AI data centers in Arizona are permitted to use up to 1.8 billion gallons of water a year. That's enough for a mid-sized city in one of the driest regions of the United States. Almost half of Amazon's and Microsoft's USAI data centers are built in high water stress areas. People living near these AI data centers are feeling the impact too. Residents in Northern Virginia describe constant low-frequency noise, vibrations that shake their walls, and difficulty sleeping. One father even shared how his child thought a spaceship was outside because of the strange hum at night. The American Public Health Association warns that chronic noise exposure can cause serious health problems, from stress to cardiovascular disease. And then there's the politics. Local governments often welcome AI data centers for the promise of jobs and investment, but the reality is sobering. Most large facilities employ fewer than 150 permanent workers. Meanwhile, the tax breaks are enormous. The documentary showed how Meta, for example, used a small shell company to secure 15 years of full property tax exemptions worth at least $60 million. So here's the paradox. On the bright side of the moon, we enjoy playful creativity, images, text, music. But on the dark side, there's a system devouring electricity, draining water, straining local communities, and shifting political priorities. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, the electricity use of AI data centers could rise to 12% of all U.S. electricity consumption by 2030, up from just 4% in 2023. Some utilities are even delaying their transition to renewable energy and leaning back on coal and gas to keep up with demand. And this brings me back to Europe. Here in the Netherlands, there was a heated debate about building just one large AI data center. The plan was rejected. Compare that to the United States, where over 1,000 already exist and more are being built every week. At the same time, nearly all the generative AI tools we rely on today are tied to American infrastructure, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta. So the question for us in Europe is, do we want to follow the US model? Should we build our own AI infrastructure to gain independence, or should we pause and ask whether it makes sense given the environmental and social costs? That's the tension I live with. I love working with generative AI. It makes my work faster and more creative. But the more I learn, the more I worry about the water, the energy, the secrecy, the politics, and the people living next to these AI data centers. We're at a crossroads. Will we simply accept the costs hidden on the dark side of the moon? Or can we find another path, one that balances creativity with responsibility?